Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Shahzanulin and my group members Muhammad Shamin Arif, Muhammad Faiz Aiman, Siti Sabrina and Nurul Hanan. We will talk about introduction to company. In this chapter, we will talk more about classification of company, types of company, advantage and disadvantage, change from partnership to company, and many more. So, the first thing is, what is company? Company is a voluntary association of people who contribute money for a common purpose. A company is an artificial person and a separate legal entity. Let us now understand the basic concept of company accounts. The contribution of money by people forms the capital of the company, and the contributors are its members. Hence, the capital of a company is known as share capital and the contributors as shareholders. Next, let's move to classification of companies based on Companies Act 2016. Different types of companies serve and function differently. Here are the characteristics of each type of company to help you decide which one to choose. There are three main types of companies that can be incorporated under the Companies Act 2016, namely company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee, and lastly unlimited company. First and foremost, company limited by shares. A company is limited by shares if its shareholders or members are legally responsible for the debts of the company to the extent of any unpaid amount of their shares in the company. For example, it can either be a private company or a public company. Next, company limited by guarantee. A company is limited by guarantee if the liability of its members is limited to such amount as the members undertake to contribute in the event of its being wound up. Last but not least, unlimited company. A company is an unlimited company if there is no limit on the liability of its members. As such, its members or shareholders will be personally responsible for the full extent of any losses it incurs. Unlimited companies are rarely incorporated in Malaysia. All other start-up and operation costs and procedures remain.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We move to the next part, which is types of company. We have three types of company. First, we have private limited company. Second, we have public limited company and others. For the first one, private limited companies, usually we have SD and PhD at the last name of companies in meaning of Sendirian Berhad. For example, we have Sirim and Bank of China. Private limited company, we have only 2 to 50 members only. We move to the second, which is public limited companies. Public limited companies have 2 and unlimited maximum of members. We, for example, we have Astro, we have CIMB and Petronas. For others, we have private SM, foreign investment and government-linked companies. We move to the second part, which is the registration requirement based on Companies Commission of Malaysia, which is CCM. For the first one, the person must have permanent resident of Malaysia and age 18 and above. For the second one, the registration of the business within 30 days from the business started. For the third one, the nature of registered business should not contravene any laws, which is the person of the company cannot, for example, cannot sell drugs and others. For the last one, we need to attach the following document. For example, we need to attach photocopy of IC, partnership agreement, and the last one is permit, license, letter of approval. That's all from me.
Hiya, my name is Faiz Aiman bin Faraz Asahan. I am from class TIA 4D. My ID number is BDA 1906070. So, I would like to talk about financial reporting requirements based on Companies Act 2016 and Financial Reporting Act 1997. So, the first is the accounting records to be kept, annual returns to be submitted to authorities, financial reports and statements prepared by directors and managers, and other matters as to capital borrowings. So, the next is the Act requires financial statements to be prepared and presented in accordance with all approved financial reporting standards in compliance with the requirements of the Financial Reporting Act 1997. So, the companies also are required to maintain all other important books and registers which may be made available for inspection on request. The books and registers that are available to the public for inspection deal mainly with shares and debentures of the company. The annual report is the compilation of the reports and financial statements required by the law or otherwise to be sent to the shareholders 2 weeks before the annual general meeting. There are 6 elements of annual reports, which is the first one is chairman statements, second is corporate governance statements, third is audit committee report, fourth is statements on internal control, 5 social responsibility statement, and the last one is financial statements.
Requirements in Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad. Additional disclosures must be made by the listed company regarding of their performance of the company. So second, listed companies are also required to make a preliminary statement within 6 months following the end of financial year. So listed company are also issued to do a half-yearly report regarding their performance within the 3 months of the following at the end of the half year. Okay? Okay. And disadvantages changes from partnership to a company form of business. So the advantages are limited liability. So if the company goes bankrupt, it would not affect the asset value of the shareholder. It would only affect the face value that the shareholders contribute. Second is transferability of shares. So shareholders can sell their share at any time during the business is still operating and would not cause any damage. Is professional management. The business activities are handled by the board of directors, which are elected by the shareholders. So they are well managed and by an experienced person. The disadvantages are taxation. Companies are required to pay state and national taxes. Shareholders are also required to pay taxes on their salaries, bonus and dividends. Second is lack of secrecy. The company provides its annual report to their shareholders and to the public. So the company competitors will also know the financial report of the company.
Differentiate the element disclosure in final statement between company business and partnership business. In partnership, more than one capital account. The number of capital account depends on the number of partners in the partnership concerns. Profit and loss is distributed to the partners' capital account according to the agreed ratio. The income statement of the partnership shows a schedule on how the net profit or loss is distributed to the partners. The balance sheet shows the balance of the capital amounts of each partners classified under owner's equity. In company, shareholder fund which comprise many categories like share capital, retaining, other revenue, and capital reserve. Unlike a partnership which has taxation on the individual partners, a limited company is imposed that as is a separate legal entity. Also show a statement of changes in equity where changes in share capital, profit, revenue, and other capital reserve during the years. I will also talk about the conclusion. Abur partnership business can change into a company form business. The biggest benefit a company business offer over other business structure is liability protection. Shareholders do not risk losing personal asset because of a company debts. Company business are considered separate legal entities from the people who own them. Owner of partnership or sole traders are held responsible for all company debts and legal responsibilities, and are subject to losing personal assets if the company goes bankrupt or is caught in costly legal situation. I think that's all from me. Thank you.